All right, guys, I hope you like Stephen King because part 2 of the 4-part, maybe 5-part series of the Never-Ending Haul of Horror is about to begin, and it's all Stephen King. Plus, we got a whole lot more than that in the tail end of this section of the video. If you're not familiar with what this series is, go watch part 1. It kind of explains a lot of it. I was sent a ton of movies to do reviews for you. It's a great opportunity to see what's going into the collection that we might talk about in the future, and it's a good way to find movies that maybe you didn't even know existed, or movies that you might want to pick up for yourself that you can get today. Let's sit down, check this out. Let me know your favorite picks in here and what I should be reviewing next. But thanks, Resolution. You rock, man. So yeah, guys, we got 1,000 views on the other one, hopefully. If not, you know, I gave in. I want to share this anyway with you. Push the channel to try to get more awesome people like yourself. If you're new here, please hit the like and subscribe button. Tell them that they need to do it or else.
Yeah, I'll come for them.
This is the second part. You can watch the first part over on part 1. I'll have all the links down below and you can do it here somewhere. And yeah, all of that. But this one is going to be for an author, a writer, a director, a producer, and all-around horror guy, Stephen King. So let's get into it. All right, so one I've been really wanting to rewatch for a long time, and these are in no particular order, by the way, guys, is Needful Things. And this is the Blu-ray of Needful Things. Kino put this out, by the way. Remember this movie, enjoying parts of it, but I felt like it was missing a large chunk of it, and I think a lot of people who read the book feel the same way. This is one that I'm glad to have again because I've been really, really badly want to rewatch this. I feel like they should do a TV show of Needful Things. I think they could really get away with all the individual stories in the book and kind of elaborate on them with like Stephen King's approval. I think it would be kind of cool.
I killed my wife. Hey, these things happen.
Up next is a series that continued on after another series. This is Kingdom Hospital. There was The Kingdom, which was a Lars von Trier TV series that also returned later on. And then there was this one, and this is on Blu-ray that they came out. He had also got me the Blu-ray of the original The Kingdom from Lars von Trier, which I need to watch and then watch this. So super glad to have this. I almost forgot that they even did this one. So he's on his shit, man. He knows his stuff. We got Children of the Corn on 4K. Now this is a movie. This is a little bit of a silly movie if you really think about it, but some of the other sequels were really terrible, and one of them, I think I remember 666 being really good in a cheesy good way. Eventually, I'm gonna go through the entire franchise on this. It's nice to have this on 4K, so. We also got The Dark Tower, which ended up being a flop, even though it had some really strong cast, like Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey. It's like almost like they skipped all the good stuff and just put this cobbled together crap, and it didn't make any sense. I feel like if you're gonna do The Dark Tower, you need to do it like the book, and it's hard, I understand, but someone could adapt it. But still, it's nice to have this one in the collection. If you're a collector, you collect them all. Up next, Cujo on 4K, baby. One of the best, you know, Stephen King movies, in my opinion. This is the straightforward dog attacks, gets bit by bat, and this has the mother of horror in it, which is Dee Wallace, who we all love and adore because she's just amazing. She's the mom for all the horror movies and all the ETs and all the stuff that you love. This on 4K is just great. It's fantastic. Up next, we got Misery, which is the collector's edition with James Caan and Kathy Bates. Excellent film from Scream Factory. We got Firestarter, the original one, which is the collector's edition on Blu-ray, which I haven't seen in a while. 1408, which is a fantastic movie, and I believe this has both the theatrical and the unrated one, which has 2 different endings on it. I think I like the theatrical one, but the other one's kind of cool to see. Sleepwalkers, collector's edition Scream Factory, which I like this film. I saw this in the theater. There's a scene in the cemetery in the very beginning, I think with a pencil, that really messed me up. But this one's just a wild, weird film. Stephen King, obviously.
Stop looking at me. Stop looking at me, you fucking cat!
Got Thinner, which is an underrated film, I think, in a lot of ways. It's the collector's edition from Scream Factory on Blu-ray, which is one I'd like to check out soon again. We also have the 4K set of the original Pet Sematary movie miniseries, and then the Pet Sematary movie that they came out later on that was kind of a carbon copy, but not so good. But I still like the girl in the movie, and I loved the end of the new one. But the truck scene was terrible. We can all admit that, right? Moving forward. We got Carrie on 4K. This is the Chloe Grace Moritz one with Julianne Moore. They did a couple different versions. I think there was like Rage and a couple other ones. Chloe did a pretty decent job in this one. She's kind of a horror fan favorite, but this is on 4K from Scream. We also have the original Salem's Lot here, which they just remade, just put out. PG film, by the way. This is the Spanish version of The Dark Half, which is a Pierce Brosnan film, and this is the Blu-ray from Spain. It's actually all region, and it has English language on it, in it. So this was hard to get on Blu-ray, I guess. Silver Bullet, a fantastic werewolf film, which is just a fantastic story in general. I love the whole wheelchair thing in this movie. I think it's a fantastic idea to put a kid in a wheelchair against a werewolf, and so cool. And it's on 4K. Up next, we got Bag of Bones, which I hear is a much better book than the movie. I think I coined the phrase bag of shit at the time, but maybe I need to rewatch this and see if it's any better. It has Pierce Brosnan returning for another Stephen King movie. Another one, short story, The Boogeyman, which this was kind of one that a lot of people either liked or disliked. It was a little too mainstreamy for some, but also kind of cool. There was some good and bad in it, and some people were kind of on the fence about this one. I remember enjoying it enough, and so I'm glad to have a copy. Secret Window, which I think Stephen King did the story obviously by, but I think he also had a part in some of the production on this one. I just can't remember. But Secret Window, I haven't seen this in a while. I believe it's about a writer, gets real meta. Cell, which actually is a really cool story. I actually kind of like this movie. There was a scene in it where they were driving over bodies that was really disgusting and awesome that I really like. Let's see, Shawshank Redemption. I mean, Jesus Christ, talk about one of those movies that just come once in a fucking long while, and Stephen King story to boot, and directed and screenplay by Frank Darabont. Can you get any better? And then, of course, we got our Maximum Overdrive on Blu-ray, which is the one and only cocaine-fueled, amazing film that I watched a million times as a kid, and Stephen King directed and hates himself every day for. I really think he should be thankful this guy made. I love it. But yeah, you know, he's the king, so, you know, he's probably pretty hard on himself too. Dreamcatcher. I always, when I first saw this, I didn't even realize it was actually a Stephen King story, but this is surprisingly cool. It kind of has a little mix of It, or no, not It. Yeah, a little bit of It in there. You know, he's always got these kids that join together and come back together to get fucked up later on. This one was obviously a little bit more aliens and stuff, but this one was surprisingly gory, and I kind of like it. David Cronenberg film, heyo, The Dead Zone, which is on 4K, man, really underrated film if you think about it. This is a movie that not a lot of people talk about, but you know, if you watch it, you're like, oh yeah, this was really good. But yeah, I'm super glad to have this on 4K. I would put it in my David Cronenberg pile, but we're trying to do all of our Stephen King in a pile in the living room. I'll take a picture of it eventually to show you if we can even fit it. Up next, we got Christine, John Carpenter this time, another great director. What do you know? 4K. This is my buddy Josh over at the Bloody Good Film Podcast. His favorite movie, and one of his favorite, and apparently David Gordon Green's too. At least it was something that he wanted to kind of shove into one of his movies. Anyway, I like this movie though. It is good. It's not my favorite, but I love it. But wait, there's more. That's right. We got Stephen King's Night Shift collection, which is only available on VHS. This has The Disciples of the Crow and The Night Waiter, which he picked up for me because I do have a VHS player. I think this is fucking awesome. To have this on VHS is like fantastic. I don't know that these are super expensive, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of these are. So if you guys know if one of them is, please shout it out, because there's just too many for me to go and look every price up on everything. And plus, I'm not getting rid of them anyway, unless I'm giving them away to you guys because I have duplicates. But yeah, we have Stephen King's Night Shift Collection, A Woman in the Room, directed by Frank Darabont, and The Boogeyman, directed by Jeff Shiro, which is the precursor to the original Boogeyman that we just showed you. So that's pretty cool. So it's like 2 short films on one tape, and he included these, which I just love. Up next, we got Langoliers, which is one of those movies about time travel, wormholes, and some crazy stuff. Haven't seen that in forever, and I think it deserves like a Blu-ray or something. Also, we got Dr. Sleep on 4K. This is the theatrical version. I don't know that it has both versions on here. A couple of documentaries that weren't on the other one. So I may end up keeping this one just for the extras. We got The Mangler, which I didn't have before, which is definitely a short story by Stephen King. A little weird movie with Robert Englund in it. Toby Hooper directed it. It's an acquired taste, but there's some good things in it that I do like. Up next, we got Stephen King's The Shining, which they redid for another TV series. You know, they wanted to do one that was closer to the book and not like the Kubrick version. This one's the one I don't remember very much about, so I'm looking forward to checking it out. We've got Stephen King's A Good Marriage, which is with Joan Allen and Anthony LaPaglia. Der Top Thriller von Meisterstreckens. So I'm looking forward to that. No, but this is the German release. I think it's Region B, yeah. But yeah, I never even heard of this, so I'm kind of curious about checking that out. We got another Salem slot. Donald Sutherland's in this one, which is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen this one, but I'm kind of curious what it's about. I think it's a pretty later one. They've redid it a couple of times. So we also have Big Driver and Riding the Bullet, double feature on DVD here. I don't remember Big Driver. She almost looks like Janine Garofalo there, but it's Joan Jett. We also have Golden Years, which is one of those movies that I have forgotten all about. And I think I have a copy of this, but this one actually has extras that I want. A bunch of older people. I forget what happens to them, but the green always reminds me of the Tommyknockers for some reason. So I always get these confused. Up next, we got Castle Rock Season 1. You don't know what's happening here.
You have no idea what's happening here, do you?
Nobody fucking does! But we still keep watching! What is happening? What is happening? And Castle Rock 2, which I found the second season to be infinitely better. It didn't try to go down the whole Lost TV series thing where it was fucking everything up. We also got Nightmares and Dreamscapes from the Stories of Stephen King. And this one's actually kind of like, I think there's like 6 or 7 stories in here. I think I do have a copy of this, but yeah, man, this one's pretty cool. If you like those TV series that are like Tales from the Dark Side or Twilight Zone, you know, it's like that. Also have Green Mile, speaking of another really great fucking movie. Tom Hanks and everybody that's in it. 4K, amazing. Dolan's Cadillac, which is funny. I just had a copy, I think, on DVD sent to me. You know, we'll be giving away one of those. This is based on Stephen King as well. I never did see this, but it's got Wes Bentley in it and Christian Slater. Also, and this was a show that me and Christina actually really got into, and it was Under the Dome, which we got season 1, season 2, and season 3, the final season that they got out. I think they wanted to go for a 4th, but it got canceled. There's still more Stephen King left, so buckle up. All right, up next, we got Carrie, the collector's box set from Arrow here, which is pretty cool. Comes with the booklet, poster. This is the poster. Here's the booklet. And then, of course, your 4K has all the lobby cards in here and just the disc. But it's pretty cool. I think the lobby cards is going to get outdated here eventually. But yeah, this is just the 4K of that, which is pretty awesome to have. They're all going to laugh at you. Man, I'm actually getting kind of fatigued now. I got Stand By Me, which is, of course, a wonderful film about a bunch of kids who find a dead body and they're chased by the killers. An epic adventure that I watched a lot as a kid. This has the infamous puking scene that I think they were talking about in, though I'm getting a Goonies confused with it, but they actually put that scene in here where I think everybody starts puking up. But yeah, this is the Steelbook edition too, so it's very cool. Thought it was really cool. I didn't even know they had a 4K Steelbook of it anyway. Up next, we got Mr. Mercedes, which is I think this is on Hulu, but this is season 1. I don't think they ever went any further than that. I could be wrong. Part of or in Atlantis. This is the Corazones en la Lantita, directed by Scott Hicks. This is Anthony Hopkins. It's a Stephen King executive produced video or movie, I think, as well. But yeah, I've seen this, but I don't remember anything about it, to be honest. I think it's about an old man dying. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, he got a copy of this. We got Stephen King's Desperation, which I think was on TV at one point in time. Mick Garris directed it. Ron Perlman is the police officer in it. We got Apt Pupil, or Verano de Corruptione, Ian McKellen and Brad Renfro, which is about a kid who goes next door to his neighbors and finds out that this guy is a Nazi in hiding. Pretty interesting movie, kind of a thriller more than it is a horror movie, but yeah, this is the Spanish version. All region, by the way. We also have It Chapter 1 on 4K, It Chapter 2 on 4K, which I do not have, It, the series on Blu-ray, Quicksilver Highway. It's Stephen King and Clive Barker teamed up for this one, which is written and directed by Mick Garris. But there's two tales on here that I don't think I've ever seen this, so kind of looking forward to that one. Here's a series that I never did get to see, by the way. This is The Outsider, which I know was on Apple, I believe. So I'm kind of curious to check this one out. I've never seen it. We also have Sometimes They Come Back, which Christina and I did not own, but I think we have a DVD copy of it, so we're upgrading. Tommyknockers, pretty silly movie. Me and Christina also did a review of this for the podcast, so if you want to listen to that, you can. We got Stephen King's Storm of the Century. I remember when this came out on TV. It was like a mini series, 7 episodes of it, so haven't seen this since that time. Stephen King's The Night Flyer, which, man, some of the practical effects in this were pretty wild. This one I haven't seen in a long time, and I remember liking it, but there was parts of it that I didn't like. It's got some pretty amazing practical effects, and that vampire is fucking creepy. Here we go. Rose Red 2-disc deluxe edition DVD, Stephen King's Rose Red. We also got Graveyard Shift, which I think I have a copy of. I think I actually have a 4K of it. Firestarter, the new one, which is a little so bad it's good. It gets a little wild. I really wish they would have ripped the Band-Aid off and just gone full, like, angry girl destroys everybody kind of thing. And just kind of gone its own way with this one because it kind of felt like it should have. We got 2 series on Blu-ray, the original The Stand and the new Stand on Blu-ray, which is pretty cool because I never did get to see the new one. Dolores Claiborne. And I haven't seen this forever. Kathy Bates, again, returning to Stephen King. I think this was a little bit more sentimental. Here's Riding the Bullet again on Blu-ray, but this is obviously the Blu-ray. The other one had a DVD split. And one that Christina really liked the book on, which was 11/22/63. I think she liked, like, majority of this, but the end she didn't like. But this was the TV series that they did. about JFK, and it's like really twisty and time travel. It's pretty wild. But this one's on Blu-ray, I guess, in other countries, so that's pretty cool.
I need you to go back there to prevent the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
And I think that's it for the Stephen King. Now, I've gotten other Stephen King stuff from them before, so I'm pretty sure they're pretty thorough about everything that is out or at least available. So yeah, that's a pretty big collection of Stephen King stuff. I'm wondering how many people have all of them. So if you do, sound off. Okay, so now we're moving into some of the TV series. And this one is going to be a favorite for a lot of people. I'm really surprised they don't have these on Blu-ray, and they really should. Why are they not doing this? And I don't even think they have any other series, any of the series out for even DVD, but we got What We Do in the Shadows, the complete first season, the complete second season, and the movie, which I have a copy of this, so I might be giving that one away as well. But yeah, I'm surprised to see that they don't have those on Blu-ray. I would think that that was a fairly decent show, but maybe they don't have as many viewers for it as I thought they did. Here's one that is probably one of my favorite shows ever made, and you know, obviously that'll get beat at some point in time. Breaking Bad, the entire complete series on Blu-ray, which I'm fucking stoked to have. Finally have this. I could rewatch that a million times over. Even the stupid Fly episode, which, you know, every series or whatever has one of those weird episodes in it. We also got El Camino here, which is the movie that they made to kind of clear up a little bit. Only thing I would need now is to get the Better Call Saul, which is a fantastic show. Very different than the Breaking Bad, I might add, but still very good. So if you haven't watched Better Call Saul, you should definitely watch it if you liked Breaking Bad like I do. Here's another series that Christina and I have never actually seen. She started to watch it back in the day. I think I saw a couple of episodes of it. Wait, no, I'm sorry. I have seen some of this. I get this confused with that other one, but this one's Dead Like Me and the Dead Like Me movie. But yeah, me and Christina have been wanting to look at this. So shout out if you want us to watch any of these, by the way, because we're going to get to them eventually. All right. Up next, a controversial TV series that a lot of people either love or hate. Rick and Morty seasons 1 through 5, season 6, and season 7. I personally like it, and I understand if you do not watch it anymore because of who is in it and whatever happened, but I've always been a fan of the series. I don't really know what I think of the new people doing it now. I understand why they did it, because, I mean, the show's too popular to not at least try. Up next, we got some other TV shows. That is all of the SNL Goes Commercial, which they did all the old school episodes like they do nowadays, you know, but on VHS. It's, you know, from some of the original, you know, people that started Saturday Night Live and everything. So pretty interesting. We also have Saturday Night Live Christmas, which is with Farley and a bunch. It's pretty much everything, really. It's all the, like, the best of the Christmases, with Belushi, Aykroyd, Murray, Spade, Farley, Myers. I don't think it goes past Myers. And then this is something that's really cool. I grew up with this. And so this is kind of like a really big deal to me. I would have never been able to get these. Some of these are really expensive. They're like $50. But this is Saturday Night Live, the first season, the second season. So from 75 to 77, 77, 78, season 3, the fourth season from 78 to 79, and the fifth season. I don't think they sell literally any collections of this stuff anywhere ever. And these are, you know, you can still get these. They're on DVD in some places. They have all the live performances and everything, you know, with David Bowie even. A lot of these like classic episodes to me are like probably worth more to me than anything. So very cool to have. All right, another franchise. Let's get into it. Okay, so we got the Hannibal Lecter collection, which comes with Manhunter. That's the big one on this one because that one's hard to get. Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal. I think he bought this one in particular just for the Manhunter on here because we do have Hannibal Rising, unrated. I think this is Region B one. We got Silence of the Lambs in 4K. Hell fucking yeah. Hannibal in 4K. Red Dragon in 4K. And my God, my friends, the entire seasons 1 through 3 of Hannibal, which is fantastic. I love this show. The third season in the beginning got a little weird, but it ended really beautifully and I loved it. It's so good. It was like one of my favorite shows I've seen in a very long time. If you have never watched it, you really need to watch this series. But yeah, got all of those now. And we do have a couple other ones. I think he got through one of the others. So running out of room back here. All right, now this one's a fun one. I think you're going to like a lot. And I know a lot of you guys love anthologies. And I kind of put a couple together in this one just because. First up, we got Creepshow 4K Steelbook, baby. I've never been like a Steelbook collector, but it's nice to get them, I guess, you know? Like, I know a lot of people love to collect them and it does up the value, but it's like, for me, I never sell these things, so, you know, it's not really that big a deal for me. I try not to anymore because I've sold so many in my past, but we also got Creepshow 2 from Arrow. This is the Blu-ray. I got this on Blu-ray from Plemke as well, but he sent out the DVD, so I might be giving this one away. Although I do like this case. Here's something cool. Season 1, 2, 3, 4 of Creepshow. And man, I love this show. I know a lot of people have been kind of iffy on it, but I just love little shorts. A lot of people expect the $20 million budget for every single Creepshow like short, and it's just not how it works, guys. So this is like new young talent doing old EC comics and stuff like in the show here, and I actually really like it. I did a review of just about every single one, and I kind of did a deep dive of each of them. A lot of people really liked them back in the day. It was one of my first viral sort of videos, was like the breakdowns, and people still want me to finish it. So you know, maybe I'll go through the last season and like this animated one later on if you guys still want it. And then I added this one in just for shits and giggles. This has Stephen King in it as well, and it is Stephen King on some of these here, obviously, but it is Tales from the Dark Side, the movie in 4K, which, yeah, let's just be honest, you know, it kind of belongs together with these, in my opinion. Okay, up next, we got another director. Keep in mind, I've already gotten some of these from this person already, so not everything is included in here. So when I say I got everything that there is pretty much out, there might be a couple here and there. I don't know. To be honest, I have not checked these, but this person's very thorough, so which I appreciate. But yeah, I'm gonna go through these for you guys, starting off with one of their more controversial films, and it is John Carpenter, by the way. So this is everything John Carpenter. So we got Ghost of Mars from Rep Indicator, which is a Blu-ray, all region. I think I've heard of Indicator, I just don't remember seeing that. We also got Masters of Horror Season 1, which has the cigarette burns, which is John Carpenter, that's right. Dreams in a Witch House, which is a Lovecraft story, I believe, and The Fair-Haired Child, which I also liked, which has the girl from Tank Girl in it, Lori Petty, as like a weird, creepy lady. Pretty cool. I love the Masters of Horror Season 1 and 2. I wish they put it out on Blu-ray, the Season 2, because that's the only one I need. And man, it's like only on DVD. So I hope one day Mick Garris gets it out there. Maybe I need to interview him and ask him. All right, one of his first ones, Dark Star, a very odd space comedy, kind of making fun of 2001. Space Odyssey, but its own sort of flair, I guess. It's from 1974, but yeah, I've never owned it. Now I do. We also got The Thing, the classic on 4K. This is one I have not seen. as far as like this version. I own multiple 4K versions because I'm a huge Thing fan, obviously. But this one just looks a little different than I've seen the other ones. I don't know if it has different extras in it or not. He wanted to make sure I didn't have it and at least get me a copy, so thank you. We have one that is controversial as well, but still kind of fun. Vampires, which is the collector's edition from Scream Factory, which is nice to finally have. We also have Vampires Los Muertos, which this is not directed by him. It's actually Tommy Lee Wallace that does this. But it's both of these on Blu-ray, which I think I did see the second one because it has John Bon Jovi as one of the characters in it. So I think I might have this one. So you know what that means. But 4K of Prince of Darkness. This one has grown on me over the years. It has become, it's not my top 3, but it has moved up a lot. It's like every time I watch it, the more and more I like it. And this one really is a great movie with science and like religion mashed into one. Super great. This one's probably more Lovecraftian than people give it credit. Up next, we got Village of the Damned on 4K. I'm like losing my mind how many of these are 4K, like just insane. I haven't seen this in forever, by the way, so I can't wait to watch that.
Life is cruelty.
We all feed on each other.
Now here's one that a lot of people don't really talk about. Someone's Watching Me. This is one of his earlier movies that he did. I don't remember anything about this, so it was good to have it. We also have Starman, which I don't know if I saw this in the theater, but I definitely was a fan of it. Jeff Bridges is in this movie, and it's pretty wild for a Jeff Bridges movie. He's done so many great movies. Here's one a lot of people hate. I actually don't hate it. I was a big Chevy Chase fan, so Memoirs of an Invisible Man. It's not exactly funny. You got Daryl Hannah in here. There's something about it that is a little charming. A lot of people say this is his worst movie ever made. I guess we'll see. We also have Escape from New York, 4K, baby. What a crazy inspired movie that inspired a lot of games and movies. Kojima with his video games and like so much more. He's got Snake Plissken essentially is the main character of most of his video games. I saw this in the theater. It was like one of the first movies I saw, and I had no sleep, so I kind of fell asleep in the middle of the movie. Definitely not as good, but what are you gonna do? The first one is hard to beat. Assault on Precinct 13, which the sequel to this, or the remake of this, wasn't too bad, but I really do like the original here. Has a little bit more impact on what, like socially, what was going on in the movie, but it's nice to have that. I love the soundtrack, the song. I think they mixed it with like the Beastie Boys somewhere online. And then Body Bags, which is like another sort of anthology of like a few stories that John Carpenter himself actually stars in, and Tobe Hooper directed. But there's Tobe Hooper, John Carpenter, and John Carpenter stars in it as the mortician. So pretty cool.
Here we are, Body Bags.
All right, so now I'm going to try to go through another stack of a director that you guys obviously will know. I'm going to go through the stack pretty quick here, so we'll go on to the third part for the next one. This is Quentin Tarantino. So, and what way to kick it off than the one that really kind of caught our attention first, which was Reservoir Dogs, which this is, recently I think they put it out here not too long ago, but Reservoir Dogs, one of my favorite Quentin Tarantino movies. It's simple, yet amazing, and really dark and stylish on 4K, which I'm super excited about. We also have one that he executive produced, I believe. I think it's Quentin Tarantino executive produced here, but I included it anyway just because. This is Sin City, which Robert Rodriguez directed and based off of Frank Miller's comics. And man, is it really like so close to the actual thing. And this has the theatrical, recut, extended, and unrated versions included in here. Next one, we have an executive produced movie by Quentin Tarantino, but also written and directed by Roger Avery, and Eric Stoltz is in this one. And that is Killing Zoe, which is a great movie. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember really enjoying this movie, and seeing Eric Stoltz in this, before Pulp Fiction and all that, this was really pretty good. This is a Region B from, I'm not sure exactly where, but it's nice to have. Right, we got the Hateful Eight, which is a chamber piece, Quentin Tarantino did, the Old West, which I thought was pretty damn good. It's one of those ones that grows on you as you watch it, but it's not everybody likes chamber pieces where there's like one area and all the characters sort of come in and out of that spot. But I think it is pretty good. And it's actually a pretty good movie. So I haven't seen it in a while, but I do remember enjoying it for the most part. Up next, we got Death Proof from Grindhouse, which he bought separately for this on the Blu-ray here. Quentin Tarantino's obviously trying to miff off of the 70s sort of exploitation car movies of the day, and also slashers in this, which is really cool. And, and Kurt Russell obviously is just insanely creepy in this movie. And there's some pretty insane gore. A lot of people didn't like the wordy stuff in it, but this is one also that grows on you over time. It was just not the most popular one in the Grindhouse altogether. So up next, we got Inglourious Bastards. This is definitely one that is one for memory. You definitely get to see some Nazis get the shit stomped out of them. And, Brad Pitt is fantastic. Eli Roth is in it, who's really pretty good in it. He's one of the better parts in this movie. It's a little silly, but, if you've seen the original one, which I also own, I now have both. But, yeah. Maybe I should do them back to back to kind of compare and see what they're like, I'm sure this one's so much more different, just like Django is. Up next, we got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is controversial for the Bruce Lee references in this movie, because he plays sort of a dickhead in this movie and Brad Pitt kicks the shit out of him. But the end of this movie, whether you like this movie or not, and yeah, that's some of the best shit ever, man. Like, I fucking love that. I haven't seen this one in a long time, but I definitely do like this movie, and Christina and I have always been wanting this, so now we finally do. Speaking of Django, we got Quentin Tarantino's Django with Jamie Foxx. What a crazy story that is just dropping the N-bomb like left and right. Still a really fun movie if you like, these kind of old Western things, doing it Quentin's style, It's definitely, man, there is some stuff in this movie that you're just like, wow, I can't believe they can say that stuff anymore. Up next, we've got Kill Bill Volume 1 and Kill Bill Volume 2. Now, I've been a fan of both of these movies. I think the sequel is actually a little bit more intense with the grave scene, but this one obviously is the more action-packed. There are two different vibes going on in these movies. They're both pretty damn good. I think most people lean to the first one because of the whole club scene, which is just amazing. And you have a lot of Japanese talent that is in this. So it's, it's actually pretty fucking awesome, even if he is sort of doing that sort of Quentin thing where he's borrowing from other movies. And then, of course, we got Jackie Brown, which is an underrated classic here, actually. Pam Grier did a really good job in this movie. And it's a nice little sort of like mystery crime thriller, There's some comedy in it, but it seems a little more straight-laced than a lot of the other ones, but still gotta like this one. I haven't seen it in a long time. And then last but not least, we've got Pulp Fiction on 4K, baby, which I can't wait to watch this in 4K. Christina's never really been a fan of this movie, and I don't know why. This is just like one of the ones that just about everybody loves. And there's some really crazy parts in this movie. A lot of really great parts that I love to repeat and say to a lot of people, especially that diner scene. Put your hands down or I'll execute every last one of you.
And I'll execute every last one of you.
But yeah, this is super cool. All right, well, that pretty much wraps it up for our second part 2, Neverending Haul. I'm gonna take Falcor and get the hell out of here, but we'll be back for part 3. So I hope that you have watched all of this. Share it with somebody. Thank you for coming by. I hope you'll be around for the next one. If you haven't seen the first one, go watch the first one. I'll put a link to it down below. I hope to see you next time, but thanks for coming by. And as always, long live the void.